here with Charm Grammy Crochet, and today is the next part in my Make Along Monday hashtag No Shades of Gray from Hobbii. I am using Twister Solid with several different colors and making a cover-up. In this video, we will be making the border trim and the trim around the collar and starting the sleeves. So that's just a little introduction as to what's going on in this video. Welcome to Make Along Monday. The last video will be the next Monday, which don't ask me the date. I think it's like the 13th or something. And we'll put the final trim on the sleeves if you decide to make long sleeves and if I can figure it out. And then I'm going to put all this in a playlist with a little video in the front that will, because I've been making this project as I go and recording as I go and making up the pattern as I go. So there might be some adjustments, maybe a few. Not too many though, actually, so I'm kind of proud of that. Anyway, enjoy the pattern. I hope you enjoy the pattern. I've enjoyed making it, and I think it's turning out pretty well. So I will see you next Monday, if not before, but we'll finish this up next Monday on Monday Make-Alongs. Hashtag No Shades of Gray. Bye. I have completed the skirting as long as it's going to be. I did 3 rows in the turquoise, 3 rows of waves. And I did end with the 2 rows of half double crochet, and I did do the decreases on those rows to make it curve in more. But as you can see, the side is like wavy, and so I want to border the sides as well as the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I did weave in most of my ends now, which were quite a few, to be honest, but I didn't do it until I was done. Now I do want to tell you that this pattern is very forgiving. If you make a mistake in the weave of it, I did a couple of times where I wasn't paying too close of attention, and so the weave pattern maybe should have been zigging when it was zagging. It really doesn't matter. It's very busy, and if for it being an ocean, it's all right if the waves don't always line up with each other, because if you watch the rolling waves come in, they don't. And it's, I think, busy enough that it won't even be that noticeable. For me, because this is a prototype and I'm on a time constraint, and working with this thin yarn can really drive my eyes crazy when I'm tired. I did not frog, I just kept going, and it turned out fine. But I'll be honest with you with that. So now I'm going to use the twister, I believe this is called Flamingo. It is color number 113 in the Twister Solid, which is what I've been working with this whole time. Maybe move you up just a little here. And as usual, it has the pull start, which I totally love. It was buried a little bit. I had to dig it out, but that's okay. So for my White Sands and Ocean Waves shawl, or wrap, cover up, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to start here. I'm just going to add some yarn right in the middle. Oh, come on, sure I am. I am still using my 4 weight yarn, and I'm just going to add this yarn right here. The stitch has already been crocheted in, but that's okay. We're just going to add to that. And I'm going to, remember, we're going up against this chain 6. So you have your right side facing you. I'm going up against this chain 6. I'm going to chain 7, I think, because I want to get down to these half double crochets. So I'm thinking chaining 7. If this doesn't work out, I'll let you know. I will be doing a video that recaps. This is, like I said, a prototype. So I will be doing a video that kind of recaps everything. Let me knock this. And tells you tells you things that I would do differently the second time, but I think I'm going to go 6 or 7, but I think I'm going to go 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to come down here to these 2 half double crochet rows, and I'm going to just go into like the side of the stitch, and you know, I'm going to do a half double. I'm going to go with a half double. Again, because this yarn is so thin, I think going later into a double crochet or a single crochet would just be harder. And then I'm going to do a half double in the next one, and then I'm going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and do the same thing. I'm going to come down to the next 2 rows of half double crochets, and I'm going to half double crochet into the side to make a border, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the side of the other stitch, and I'm going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, I half double crochet into the side of this stitch, and this stitch. Just grab a couple of strands there and chain 7, and I'm going to do that all the way down to my I still have my stitch marker in my last stitches, but I'm just going to come down and do that. Then we're going to kind of make the bend and come down to the stitch marker, which is my first stitch of this border row. So I'm going to come down to there with these chains, and then I'm going to half double crochet across the border and all the way around back up to the other side. So I'll meet you when I get down to the stitch marker. So here I am coming up on the stitch marker, the last 2 half double crochet rows here. So I'm going to go into each of those. I think we'll go here and do a half double, and then I'm going to go into my last stitch here. Oops, come on, and do a half double. And because it's like a corner, I think I'm going to do a couple more half doubles in there, so that we can, oh, gotta get more yarn, so that we can get around the corner. So I have 3 stitches in there to make the corner, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna, if I can catch my stitch marker, I'm going to stick that back in that center stitch. And now I'm just gonna do a row of half double crochets across the bottom. In all 1,000,000 stitches. I don't know how many there are. I never really counted them. Yours will be different because you made yours to your size specification versus my size specification. So just go around the whole bottom, and I'll get back to you when I am at the next corner stitch marker. Half doubles all the way around. And oh, and by the way, I'm using the coral because this is where the ocean meets the sunset or the sunrise, and we have that little bit of pink in the sky as the sun finally closes for the day or finally wakes up for the day. So that's why the last row in the border row all across your ocean is going to be all across my ocean anyway, is going to be coral color, or flamingo, I think is what they call this one. And I will be using this in the trim as well. But you can do yours whatever colors you like. It's okay. I'll see you at the next stitch marker. So as you can see, I am approaching the end of the bottom, and I'm just going to half double until I get to my stitch marker, and this will be my turning space right here. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker, and I've got one in there, but I'm going to do 3 so that I can go around the corner. That's 2, and that is 3 to make my corner. And in the second one, I'm going to replace that stitch marker just for I'll know on the way back now that that's the center one, the one that you'll make your turn in again. And then it's hard to tell, I know, but to grab a couple of stitches in your half double crochet. This was a decrease spot, so it makes it even harder to tell, but just pick out a few, put a half double crochet in there, and then we'll do a half double crochet in that space. And then we're going to chain 7 again and start that whole thing all over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not allowing myself much room here. And then we're going to half double in the sides of the half doubles. So just do the best that you can. Gosh, there we go. And just sometimes you have to like spread things apart so you can see where they are. There we go. Half double and the half double. And then we're going to chain 7 again. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And back into the next set of half doubles, and we're going to do this all the way again, just like before, until we get to the top, and we'll be in the middle of our cover up. Yeah, oh, I think I put that in the wrong spot. I sure did. Once I separated it a little better. Sometimes you just gotta hold this yarn and into there, and then you chain your 7, and I will meet you back up here. It's not that long. Hold on. So I'm at the top. I have my last 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my chain 7s, and now I am just going to slip stitch this, I think, into here to, oops, there it is, to join, and it's in the same stitch as my original 7 here, or chain 6. And I'm just going to slip stitch, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. It's big and bulky, so give me a second here to get it organized. Well, I thought I had all my ends sewn in, found more. Obviously, except for the coral. And now, let's get where the work is. Here we go. I'm going to do some half double crochets. Now, I usually like to go into the back bump when I am crocheting and get the, you know, nice edge. but it might be just too tedious to do that, and I might just go not in the back bump after I get moving along here, just to make it faster. And it really doesn't look, you know, bad not to just go around the whole stitch. You can do that if you want, for sure. You know, just do 7. If you're going into the back bump or just into the stitch at all, let me show you. Let me get through this, and it's a slower process, obviously, to go into the back bump. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I thought I had all 7. And then into the top of the next, into the half doubles that are already there, and make those half doubles. Come on, don't fail me now. There we go. So you get a nice ridge with the V's. Can you see? On both sides, if you go into the stitch, it's just, you get a nice, like that. If you go around the stitch, which, like I said, really doesn't matter, but if you go around, you can do 7. Oh, my yarn just split on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you kind of got to space them out a little bit and play with them. And then come down into your 2 half doubles. Gosh, those ones are kind of spindly looking. So, and this is the difference in the stitch. So this is the side that's going to be facing out into your, like, towards your body. And this is the side that's towards the skirt. So this is where I went into the stitch on this, on the chains, and this is where I went around the stitch on the chains. But this is what, like, is mostly going to show, and this is what it'll look like from the side. I prefer this method. This method is much faster. This method, you know, you kind of have to sort them out and play with it a little bit. You're still going to do your, you know, your half doubles in your ends here. I'm going to attempt to do this way, unless I get too aggravated with it. And then I'm going to see what it looks like, and see if I need to do a second row of half double crochets along here. And if I do, I will, and if I don't, I obviously won't. You know, if I think, oops, if I think it looks fine with just the 1 row of half double crochets, then I'll be done with this part. If I think it needs more, like a wider border, let's see if you can get some idea. You probably won't get a very good idea until it's actually hanging. If that'll be enough. It might be, because I don't want it to be a thick line. I just want it to be a thin line. But if you want to do more, you can. And when I'm done with this row, I will come back and let you know what I did. At this point on mine, I didn't leave spaces here for a wide border, because that's just the way my stitch count worked out. If you did leave spaces, and if I were to make this again, I probably would leave spaces. I would make sure to work it out so that I have spaces to, you know, join here and come down. But I didn't leave that kind of space. So when I come around back to here, if I want to do more rows, I will probably I'll finish this with a half double crochet row on this side, all the way up and attach it like this. But if I decide that I want to do more, I will probably just slip stitch this together for a couple until it hangs nice, and then do more rows and let it open from here down, or something to that effect. So, because I don't want it to overlap, but I can join it and go around, you know, join it even here, and say, let's say I joined it here and don't even do the half doubles. I probably will, and join them to this. If I do additional rows, I would do, that's probably what I'll do. But I might not want additional rows, but I can do it that way. I would come up here and grab these together and make, like if you were joining Granny Squares or whatever, and join that together, and then come down and do a second row around. That might be what happens. We'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes to that point. I'll let you know exactly how I'm going to work it. But I think I might like it just with the one row of pink on the sides, and it would be 2 rows across the bottom. You know, because we already did the 1 row of half double on the bottom, and we already had 2 rows of blue, so it'll be a nice thick bottom side, but not a thick edging on the inside, which will match up more with the waves. So probably I'll end it with the half doubles here, but that is yet to be determined, and I will add on to this and let you know how I did it. So here I am coming up to my stitch marker where my corner is. So I'm still just doing, I am doing the back loop half double crochets. And I was thinking about this, I wonder if you could do the chainless foundation in between. That would save all of this effort right here. And I'm not really sure if that would work or not. If I make another one of these, I might try it. So when I get to my stitch marker, here we go, I'm going to put 3 stitches in there to make the corner, just so that it will hopefully hang, you know, smoother, better, not be pulled. And so then as I go down the bottom of the skirting, we'll just do, you know, a half double in each stitch across. And let's see what this looks like as a corner. Here, just a second. Get a couple more stitches in. So here's the corner, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to put that stitch marker back just in case I do a third, you know, an additional row of half doubles. But I'm thinking I'm not going to need to. This is what the edging looks like up the front. I kind of like it just like that. I think another row might be too many for me. Obviously you could do as many rows as you want, but I'll know more once I get the other side done. So I'm just going to go around and do the whole bottom, and when I get to the stitch marker, we'll put 3, oh, I split the yarn there. I'll put 3 half doubles in the corner stitch as well on that side, and replace the stitch marker just in case. If I decide obviously not to do more rows, then the stitch markers will come out for good. Excuse me. But as I said, I wonder if you could go like these stitches and then do the chainless foundation, and then 2 half doubles into these stitches, and then chainless foundation. I hadn't thought of that prior to this. And I don't know if that would convert easily. Like you'd have to do the chain up and stuff again to start your chainless foundation. I don't know if that would work or be more of a pain. But I think if I do another one of these, and I'm really kind of anticipating making another one, maybe not with all these colors, but if I do another one, I think I might try that just to see if it works out or not. But I'm not ripping this out just to give that a shot, I'll tell you that. Okay, I'm probably not going to come back until I get to the, get all the way around the border, and then we'll make a decision if we're going to do more rows or not, and I'll share that with you as I go. So at this point, we're just going to half double crochet around until I get to the top. I have now done a half double crochet around every stitch. And through every stitch, and I'm back to the beginning here, and I've played around with it a little bit. I've decided that I do like the look of just one row of, get that, hide that tail, half doubles instead of more than one row of my coral color. I definitely for sure would recommend in the future doing it again, leave spaces here when you start your waves. But I did not leave spaces, and so this is how I'm going to join it together. I have my last stitch, and I'm going to go from underneath the other side. Let's see if I can get this, maybe zoom it in a little bit for you here. I'm going to go from underneath my first side, and I'm going to go, it's a little bit awkward and it's kind of a weird thing. I'm sure it's not what you're normally used to doing, but I'm going to take these two stitches from my first side, the first stitches of the first half double, and I'm going to come into here somewhere and grab a couple of stitches at the bottom of one of these V's from the sand area, if you will. And I'm going to do a slip stitch of all of these stitches that are on my hook. I'm just going to pull it through all of this and all of this and all of this. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch on my first side and do another slip stitch to bring the yarn down and through. So then I can cut it with my handy dandy little scissors and pull it through, and then I can weave in the end. So that's how I'm going to end it. And that's what, oops, there it is. I hope you saw that. And that's how it'll end, like that. So when you hold it up, it'll be, let's back it up a little bit here. Let's see if I can. Oh, wait, go this way. All right. Stay. Oh, stay. All right, there we go. So that's what the front is going to look like. And I'm okay with the looks of that. I think that looks all right. You'll get a better full effect. So when it's on, it's kind of, you know, this is how you're gonna see it. So it'll look like that. And I think that's just the right amount of sunrise or sunset that you need. Now for my project, I do have to weave in a few ends again. I'm going to continue now with the neckline, and I'm going to do my neckline in the coral, just a border around the neckline. I'm going to start, really doesn't matter where you start, but I'm starting in the back. So I'm just going to kind of guess at the middle of the back, because we're gonna crochet it in the round. So I'm gonna kind of eyeball where the middle of the back is. I'm gonna do my trim, my border trim in the coral. So I'm just gonna make a little slip knot And I'm gonna, like I said, kind of just eyeball where the middle of the back is. Grab a couple of stitches, pull my yarn through, and I'm gonna go with my right side facing, so I'm going to attach it, whoops, attach it, pull it tight, and I'm just gonna do half double crochet row, I'm just going to start here and crochet over my tail. I kind of, I was thinking maybe doing half double, because that's what we started with, was the half double crochet. And I like that stitch, so I'm just going to do a half double crochet all the way around. See if I want to do more when I get to, when I come back to the beginning. But when I get to the join, where we join the two panels together, oops, oh, sorry about that. Oh, got my yarn ball upside down on my cake. Okay. Oh, I split my yarn there. I did find that I split the yarn here. If I don't have it, hold it tight enough, if I let my tension go, I tend to split my yarn with this twister. But I do love the yarn. I love the stitch definition that you get, and the lightness of the yarn is nice. So I'm just going to crochet over here to the join, which is coming up here in just a couple of stitches. I know it's hard to tell on the white, kind of blends in with each other. So now I'm, let's see, let's let go of this here. I don't know if I can make this where you don't have white, and you know, I can't. So here we have, this is the last stitch before I join. So I'm going to do a half double in that stitch. And then see, here's these stitches are the join. So I'm going to just kind of like go into this and this, the two stitches that I joined, and keep them as one, and do a half double there, and then come back over to this side. Now I'm going to be on the front and do my half doubles here. So I don't want to, what you don't want to do is make 3 stitches out of what was 1 stitch, because here, let me rip this back and show you again. See, it looks like 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Let me put my hand there. Here we go. That'll make it easier for you. I've got a blue cloth here, so that'll help hide. All right, that should give you better. So you've got the first stitch of the join, then the actual single crochet that I used to join, and then the other stitch of the join. We don't want this to be 1, 2, 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3 stitches. We want that to be all 1 stitch, because it's joined together as one. So we're going to go into the first part of the stitch, the first half of the join, and the second half of the join, and continue to make that just a joined stitch. I think that would make it lay smoother to do it that way. The other thing would be just to skip it all together and just go from here to here. But I discussed it with some of my friends in Zoom, and we thought that would be the way to do it. So that's what we're doing. That's how I'm doing it. And it'll still be nice. So then I'm just going to go all the way with this all the way around, and then I'm going to see if it needs more of a neckline. I kind of would, I'm debating if I want to do more of a neckline. It's going to continue to be in the half double crochet, but I might do a window row. Half double crochet, skip one, half double crochet, skip one, you know, with a chain, half double crochet, chain one, skip one, half double crochet, chain one, skip one, and do a window row. But maybe not. No, probably not. Once I'm looking at this with the half doubles and the half doubles, adding a window row there would be probably not a good idea. But we are going to just go around, meet at the other end, and we're going to join with a slip stitch. If you do a second row, I would suggest chain one and continue, and you know, not turn your work, just join with a slip stitch and chain one and continue with another row of half doubles. But you know, it's kind of going to depend on what you feel yours needs and how it fits you. So when I get there, I'm going to try it on and make my decision if it gets more of a border. I'm going to say I probably don't want more color there, just because my front, down the front, only has one row of half doubles. So I think I'm only going to do one here, but we'll see. Maybe it needs more color. Maybe it needs to be a little smaller. I'm not really sure. I didn't really measure for how tight it is or not around my neck at this point. I don't want it tight around the neck. I want it loose around the neck because it's a cover-up. But at the same time, I don't want it to be too big. So in these border stitches here would be where, if yours is too big, you know, if you didn't sew up your neck enough, you could always, you know, continue to sew it up more, or you could do some decreases in this border as you go around. I don't think mine needed decreasing, and so for me it's going to mostly be, is this enough color? Is this a deep enough edging? So when I get to the end, I will make that decision, and I will come back and show you where we're at. So I've gone around with my half double crochet, and I've tried it on, and I've decided that it needs a second row. So what I've done is, I'm going to pull that out. So I'm going to join it with a slip stitch here, and I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to just come back into the stitch that I joined, and I'm going to half double crochet in each stitch again all the way around, just to give myself a little bit more coral color, or flamingo I think is what they call this one. And so I'm just going to half double crochet. But when I get to my corner this time, I don't think I'm going to have to see what I do. We're going to have to see what happens there. Let's go around and see. I'll tell you when I'll meet you at the join spot. So I've decided that it's a little bit bigger than I want in the neckline, so I'm going to, this is where the join is. So what I'm gonna do, I've stitched in this stitch. I'm gonna do a half double in this stitch, and then I'm going to combine these right here into one. Actually, I think I want to combine all of those into one to make it a smoother transition. So I'm just going to yarn over, go into here, pull up, yarn, go into here and pull up a loop, go into here and pull up a loop, and go into here and pull up a loop. And then I'm going to yarn over all of those, or yarn over and pull through all of those, and then come into here and do another half double. So that'll combine all of those stitches into one at the original joining area. And then I'm just going to half double all the way around. But I think that'll give me a smooth look, but yet join several stitches together and still be smooth on my neckline. I probably should have done that here too, but I didn't know it was not going to be quite as small as I thought it was, or as tight as I thought. You know, I thought it would be tighter around with this, so I'm just going to do that on both of my shoulders. So I'll show you again when I get to the other shoulder. Okay, so I'm coming back to the corner again, and I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn up, or not yarn over, I'm just pulling up a loop. I'm going to go into this one and pull up a loop, and into this one and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all those loops, and then just continue to half double crochet all the way. Oh shoot, I hope I was on camera. Oh, let me just show you that again in case I was not. Let's try that again. I think I was off camera. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to yarn over and go into this stitch and pull up a loop, because here's my center, and I'm going to go into that one and pull up a loop, go into that one and pull up a loop, and go into that one and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all those loops, and then just continue to half double crochet all the way around, the rest of the way around. That's going to give me a shoulder that looks like that. And then I'm going to crochet half doubles all the way around until I get back to here, and then I'm just going to join with a slip stitch and that, and then weave in my ends, and that will be the amount. Oh, sorry about the background noise. And that'll be how I do the neckline. I think that'll be enough of the coral color. We're going to move on to the sleeve now. This is the inside, and as you can see, I have single crochet joined on the inside more of my sleeve hole. Originally, I think it was 27 rows before 20 on that 27th or 28th row. I started going in the round with the two back, the front and the back panel, connected them at the shoulder here where I did the half, where I did the single crochet join. Same process. My armhole was too big by about 8 rows, so I single crochet joined, and I wanted to show you what that looks like, but it's the same process that we did here. I did it on both sides. I still have the yarn attached because I'm going to, here's the other side, there it is. I'm going to just work from this with my scrap from the front and back panels. So I have a stitch marker so I don't lose my spot, but I'm going to turn it back to be the right direction, working on the right side of the work. Sure I am. There we go. Here is my hole in my yarn. There we are. And my stitch marker. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is remove the stitch marker. So I just ended with a single crochet. And I'm going to put this on this side. I hope you can see this okay. Here we go. Let me make it a little closer. There we are. Now I am going to continue to V-stitch, but it's going to be sideways to the work. So I'm just going to slip stitch into this stitch, and then I'm going to do my fat boy, which is, oh wait, I'm going to chain one first, then do the alternate turn chain. So that's the first double crochet, chain one, double crochet, and I'm just going to do V stitches. I need to get more yarn here. This is at the bottom of this cake, so it's, you know how they do, they fall apart a little bit. So I'm just going to V-stitch in the side, wrapping around every stitch. This is I'm just going to do this all the way around. Oops, 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 oops. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to go all the way around the armhole. And we're going to do it just in a continuous round. So I am going to mark, but I am going to slip stitch and chain up, not just do a spiral. And I am going to meet you back here, but I'm just going to do that very same thing. When I get to here, I will stitch here and this stitch right here. When I get to, this is the shoulder where I joined it together. I will stitch here in this stitch, I'll stitch in this stitch, and I'll just make a stitch in here. I won't be like all of this to make it too bulky, but I'll just make one in the center somehow, and then go back around. Just, you know, space them out nicely in every stitch, and then I'm going to try it on and see how it fits around my arm to make sure it fits the way I want it to, the way I think it will. And then we'll just continue on. I want to do this until it gets to about almost to my elbow. So I'm going to say on me maybe 6 inches on each side, and then I'm going to start adding color and widening it. But we'll see. That's the plan. We'll see how that works. At this point, I'm thinking that that's going to work. Oops. If it's too tight, you know, then I'll have to rethink that. I don't think it'll be too tight, but this is, you know, this is the prototype. This is making it as I go here, showing you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So there's no pre-pattern or anything like that. So I will see you at the end of this round, and I'll let you know how well the sleeve is fitting. And, oh, by the way, as it fits me right now. This comes over my shoulder a little bit, which is perfect. And if you don't want a sleeve, on me, I could leave this as a little bit of a cap sleeve and add a border to it and be done. Oops, I forgot my chain. But I, oh, did I? Oh, I did chain. But I kind of want to make a bell sleeve and see what that looks like. So I'm going to just do one sleeve at a time and show you the progress of the one. And then if I don't like the way it looks, then I haven't done two. But that's the plan right now. And as I said, I will see you when I get to the beginning. Or to the end. Alrighty, so let's see, I've made it back around. I did try it on. The sleeve fits very well. Let me see if I push out a little here. The sleeve fits very well. I'm real happy with it. Oops, it's a little longer than what I originally told you, so I'm probably only going to do about 6 rows of the V-stitch before I start wanting to do the bell and increase. And on the last row of the white, I will probably also increase. So I'm going to do a few rows, and I'm going to try it on again and see where the sleeve comes, and just continue to do that until it's where I want it to be, honestly. So I'm gonna go into the center, and we're going to do the same. I'm going to do that. If you do not, I wanted to tell you this, if you did not have, or you had to sew yours shut or whatever, and you're just starting in the sleeve, you can do a standing double crochet to start your V-stitch, or just attach your yarn in any way that you can at the corner, and at the edge, and start your V-stitches in the sun, around the double crochets around the side. When you decide that you have to increase, if you want to increase before I get there, on a V-stitch you do increases, because if we're going to do the bell, we're going to do a lot of increasing, but you do 3, right? So for a regular V-stitch, we do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. For an increase, you then chain 1 and do another double crochet in the same space. So it's like this. Now you have 2 stitches in there, so the next round you'll have 2 stitches in, like that. I'm not doing that in this round, but I just want to show you that if you need to increase at this point, that's how you do it. If you want your bell to start sooner, that's how you do it, but I want my bell to start like more towards my elbow. Oops, going to the V. So I'm not going to do that yet. This is big enough for me. But the last row of white that I do, I may very well start the increases there. So I will end this video, and this is as far as we're going to go this week on Make Along Monday, is to the white. So we've added the border around the neck, we've done the neck, we've done the border around the skirting, and we're going to do, I'm going to do to the elbow-ish area on the sleeves. Then in the last week we will put the color on the sleeves and make the bell, and then we'll be done. So that's where we're at, and I will see you guys in the next Make Along Monday. I hope you're enjoying this, and I'll see you then. Bye.